Hey guys, welcome back to Vinceville Custom. So today we're going to do a garage kit review on this Harley Quinn from the Arkham games, produced by Forgeline Collectibles. I am not sure who sculpted it, but I'll have some information in the description for anyone that's maybe interested. I'm not really sure if there any is available, but somebody gave this to me to work on this year, so I figured it would be a good time to do a kit review on it while I have some downtime. I'm not ready to work on it just yet, but down the line we'll have her done. So as you can see, it was actually produced by Onage, and Onage set this box up pretty good. I think Onage is getting a little bit better at pretty much getting all these kits pretty set up. So as you can see, you have the base here and you have all the pieces here. Now all these pieces are separated, so I'm going to try to pull out as many as I can now. I'm not going to pull out too many of the fragile stuff. But we'll just give you a basic idea. But you can see what Onage is starting to do is they're starting to actually cut out the basic shape of the item. So once you put her together, you can actually put her back into the box, which is really good. For a while there, what Onage was doing, it seemed when they were really becoming bigger, doing like all these printouts of these kits and stuff, a lot of these pieces would just be cut out and stuff. So once you put the item together, you can't really put it back in the box. You have to kind of custom cut it and stuff like that. But this one is working out pretty well, so you can see everything's here. Now, of course, when it's done, I might have to do some custom cutting as well, but you never know how that works out. So what I'm going to do is we'll stop the camera now. I'll pull out some of these pieces on the desk. We'll go over it a little bit. We'll kind of look on how these things kind of worked out. And then hopefully down the line later in 2020, we'll have her finished up. Okay, so we got most of the parts out. I didn't pull out the hands or the bangs of her hair or if there's any other little fragile stuff because I really don't want to break any of that stuff. I really want to just leave it in the box and hopefully none of that stuff snaps because that'll just cause a lot more issues down the line. So I just kind of want to go over the major, parts of it. So far looking at this kit, just pulling it out of the box, if any of you guys are new to the hobby, and you've been getting more equipment and you're getting into it, you're feeling a little bit more comfortable doing kits. This kit seems to be a little bit more complex in the sense that there's a lot of colors and there's some masking. Not major masking, but there's some masking. But it's not really complex in that all the pieces are together. You can paint all the pieces separated and you can sort of attach them at the end. So we'll kind of go over that now. So we'll start off with the base. This base is pretty nice. These Joker heads go around the edge of them. I was kind of playing with it, so I think each head goes in a specific spot. So I found this one goes to the spot there, as you can see. So you'll be able to paint these heads separate, whether you want to make this base like, maybe a Dark Knight building, where it's kind of like granite, or if you want to do like the Sideshow bases, where they were kind of like a bronze effect. Maybe you want to go a little bit further and make this stuff like metallic and then the bricks are red in the inside. So you could do whatever you want and you could paint up these heads any way you want. So it's kind of like your take on your Arkham Harley. But base is really nice. It's very heavy, so it's not like it's a cheap base, but I think it is casted sort of hollow in here. And in this hole right here, I think what they did is they might have filled it in with a lighter resin or a foam. But you can hear it's not hollow, it's nice and solid. So the base is pretty good. So like I said, you can paint the base separate, you can paint the Joker head separate, and you can do whatever you want with that and have some fun. But just because she's an Arkham Harley doesn't mean you need to do exactly in the game. You can run with different colors, you can run with different styles, you can even customize it. Go like that. So we'll go to the body. Upper body is really great. I like the way this is sculpted. I really like how they did the back here, the way this is sculpted here, because it is easy to pretty much mask this off and get in there and do this little circle piece. It's not sticking out too much. You don't have to paint separate stuff and glue it on. It works out pretty well, and it's easy to handle this too. So if you wanted to, even though I think there is a magnet in here. Let's check. Let's see, is there a magnet? No, there is no magnet. So this is actually good because what I would do with this is I'm going to Dremel a hole in there and put one of my rods in there, and I can actually set this up and I can mask it off and I can paint and I can do whatever, and at the end I can attach it into the body through the skirt and make it one solid piece. Now as you can see, looking at this piece here, it definitely was casted two-part mold, as you can tell, because there's a little bit of a line here, nothing too crazy of flashing, simple little putty will fix that, and a little bit over here, but they did a nice good clean job where these belts are not messed up. so that looks pretty good. But there's a little part right here, so I think that's got to be fixed too. This stuff right here, you might think it's a mess up. That's actually like where the hairs and pieces go. Now there is a magnet up here, so her head is magnetized, so that's good. So you'll be able to paint the head up separate. And they did a really great job on this head. I like it a lot. The casting's beautiful. The sculpt looks really great, and you can really run with it. Now these little hair pieces, like I said, I want to be careful with her. I don't want to break her. So let's see. Let's pull the head off first, because like I said, whenever I do these kit reviews, I want to make sure I don't snap anything. Okay, so the hair goes back like that piece, and then this piece goes like that, like so, and then it should be magnetized. So let's do a little bit of a take with, hopefully none of this breaks. Okay, so it goes in there fine, as you can see. Now the bangs, like I said, are in the box. I don't want to really mess up those. Now looking at the casting of these, beautiful, not seeing any issues. Looks good. Really nice hair sculpt too. I like this style of the hair sculpt. Now, kind of go on to the lower part of the body a little bit real quick. So you can see these are legs. Really nice little booty shot for you guys. Really well done. Now on these legs though, I'm seeing a little flashing right here. A little bit of a line coming down here. Nothing too. A little bit of primer, a little putty. You'll never even know that's there. Now, the only thing I don't like about them is these triangles. I mean the diamonds. These diamonds stick out a little too far. Now I think maybe they were thinking, okay, that's just easier to sculpt and maybe for the painters. But personally, I think they come out too high. So what I would do is I'll just sand these down just a little bit. Take them down, because what it is, it's really hard to try to get paint on edging of this stuff. Now I know this is probably supposed to be that way, but maybe just take it down a little bit and it'll be easier to paint. We'll see. Skirt, really well done. I'm not seeing any flashing there. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's kind of like red, black, white or something like that. But this will go like that at the end, so you can see how well that's done. And then this body goes on top at the end, so that's going to require a little bit of a, ease and magic sculpt and really get that secured on there. But once that's done, this body's set. Now, one of the things, well actually let's go on to the arms, then we'll go on back to the legs. Arms look pretty well. They are magnetized as well. So let's see. Do we have correct? Okay, so that goes on just like that. Magnet seems fairly strong, not too strong, but goes on. Okay, so some of the flashing you probably wouldn't have to worry about because it's kind of hidden, so that's okay. Now here's something right here. I'm gonna have to be careful I don't snap this little ring there, so that's something to think about. Hands go there, and then it goes into the bat. So like I said, that might be a little tricky. I'm going to have to look into that, make sure all that kind of flushed out and works putting it together. That's later on down the line. So, onto the legs and the boots. So, this is something I personally don't like. They put a metal rod in here, and they put a metal rod in here. And then you can see these go into the boots like this. I like the way they go in. But the problem is, they put a rod here, so this rod probably only goes that high, and then they put a little rod in here. Personally, what I would like to have done myself was actually put a rod up there to go into this leg or something, and then do the same on my own over here. To do it now probably would cause more trouble, because I don't know how deep those rods go in there. And then, like I said, I don't know how deep this rod goes in. Does it only go to here? Does it go up to here? Is it actually bent to go up there? I don't know. If I could probably grab some of my magnets real quick, and we could kind of take a look at it and see if they are magnetized. So, are these pieces metal or are they not? Okay, so they're not actually metal on the feet, and they are not metal there, so these are probably brass. So that even tells me I don't know how far they go in, so that's the problem. Like, I could probably Dremel this out, but like I said, I don't know. What if this piece is actually bent this way? What if this piece is bent up that way? I don't know, so I can't really take the risk of doing that. Plus, holding something up like this thin, these pieces here trying to Dremel, if the Dremel kicks and it twists, I might snap this. So That's another thing I have to be careful of. So I'm going to have to think that over and go from there. So there might be a little bit more smaller pieces in there for her. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to go crazy. But bat looks pretty well. Not really seeing any issues like with the bat. A little bit of give to it. I think that's just a resin. So personally, I would have hoped that they put a metal rod in there so it doesn't kind of like bend like that. Because what's to say over time if it kind of warps. But you never know. Something like that you want to stay away from the heat. But other than that, that's the Harley Quinn Arkham kit. It's going to be a fun kit to put together. Like I said, if you guys are new to the hobby and you want to try to get something a little more complex, but you're a little bit worried about building, this is something that'll work out pretty well for you. Give you a quick idea. So if you're new to the hobby and you're not really sure about Dremeling and Abe's work, but you want to do a little bit of like gluing and stuff, you could get away with just gluing these in at the end. That'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. And you can get away with just putting some glue or some epoxy on that, throwing some more glue and stuff around here, and then attaching it at the end. So if you're new to the hobby and that's something you're more comfortable with, you can definitely do it and you can get away with it. Let's try and get her onto the base. Like I say, sometimes stuff like this is something where I might have to do a little extra tweaking because maybe these pegs don't line up correctly. Or they might line up correctly too. At first go, you never know. Seems like the back one's not going in the way I wanted to. So see, like right away, that's kind of like an issue. Now the other thing too is, am I putting it in correctly? No, it definitely should. Yeah, see? So it definitely goes that way. So, you know, it's possible maybe the factory set up the base with the correct feet and it worked out, but maybe they put the wrong base into the box, so we got a little bit of a gap over here underneath that foot, so that's going to have to be tweaked. So, you know, sometimes the things work out and sometimes they don't. So that's pretty much the Harley Quinn kit from Arkham. Like I said, everything should be in the description. If any are available, you go check it out. Hopefully in the next few months we'll have this painted up and done, and it should look pretty cool. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.